Shaftsbury Avenue on the New South Wales TAB has eased a little bit overnight. He was a 5-2 favourite on our TAB at about 7:30 last night. As a matter of fact, this is the very latest weight of money on the New South Wales tab. Drum Taps at odds of 10-1. This was at around about 11 o'clock last night. Now, Terramon at 15-1. Magic Night, a 3-year-old filly from France and reported to be a very strong filly, 11-2. Splash of Colour at 33-1. The favourite and the hope of Japan is Majiro McQueen at 11-4, and his record is an outstanding one. Fujiyama Kenzan is at 75-1. Now, I don't know whether this should be a silent J or a silent D. I'll take a stab at it and call this one Waj. 33-1, owned by Sheikh Mohammed Al Maktoum. Carib Song is at 60-1. Maincaster 130-1. Majiro Arden is at odds of 90-1. Now, Shaftsbury Avenue got out from 5-2 to 7-2 in the last hour or so of wagering on our TAB. Rockhopper, one of the English contingent, is at odds of 8-1. Rough Habit from New Zealand, to be ridden by Jimmy Cassidy, is at 6-1. Golden Pheasant, the only American entrant this year, is at 45-1. And George Monarch at 125-1 ran absolute last in 1990. And by the look of the market, he's likely to run last again this year.
Shaftsbury Avenue, what chance, Tappy?
Well, Ken, he's had a lot of setbacks. The negatives really amount to quite a long list. As you recall, in the Cox Plate in the early stages, he slipped just passing the winning post the first time, ricked his back in the process, as we see some of the 180,000 strong crowd at the Fuchu racecourse in Tokyo to witness this great race, the richest race in the world on grass. $3.3 million Australian, or 330 million yen. Ken, Shaftsbury Avenue was under the care of a chiropractor for about 10 days, in which time he missed a lot of track work. He had to come back to the 1,600 metres of the Honda Stakes to try and get some sort of mileage on the clock before heading off to Tokyo. So he's jumping from 1,600 to 2,400. It's an almighty task for any horse, and I believe he had a nightmare trip to Japan. Instead of taking the usual 10 hours, his flight was diverted via Hong Kong and Taiwan, so he was travelling for some 18 hours. He was off his tucker for a day or two after arriving, but has picked up pretty well in the last 3 or 4 days. But I've got to say, if he wins, I think Bart Cummings deserves a knighthood.
Yeah, well, he wouldn't argue with that. And Rough Habit.
Well, Rough Habit hasn't raced since the WS Cox Plate. His winter form in Brisbane was all on wet tracks, and he's got the reputation as being what we call a mudder. When he went to Melbourne, galloping on top of the ground against the elite opposition, he was struggling a bit. He's had 2 runs in Melbourne during the spring, in the Caulfield Stakes and the Cox Plate, and you'd have to say that the runs were only mediocre. And he hasn't started since the Cox Plate. He's got a big job ahead of him.
When you equate this race to our top races here in Australia, Tappy, what quality horse are we looking at?
Well, Ken, this would probably be tantamount to a race like, let's say, the McKinnon Stakes at Flemington, as you know, 3 days before the Melbourne Cup. OK, they look to be under starters' orders. It's coming on winter in Tokyo. That's the reason for the browned-off turf at the Fuchu track. And Brian Martin is our commentator, an outstanding caller from Radio 3UZ in Melbourne, whose inspiring call of Better Loosen Up's win last year will live long in the memories of racing fans all over Australia. For his call, Brian Martin.
They're off. And Majiro Arden and Majiro McQueen bounced out quickly, going fast up in the centre now. Fujiyama Kenzan. The Japanese horse is very prominent, settling down, and from the outside, George Monarch with a great turn of speed. George Monarch clears the field now at the winning post to lead by 2 lengths to, in second placing, Fujiyama Kenzan over on the inside of Majiro Arden, who's gone up third. 2 lengths further back, then Carib Song going around the outside. Majiro McQueen is over on the fence, and they're followed by Watched in the middle. Splash of Colour back along the inside, followed by Magic Night. Shaftsbury Avenue midfield, a little wide from Terramon, a length further back, then is Rough Habit, then Maincaster a half length further back, Golden Pheasant, followed by Drum Taps, and Rockhopper is last of all. George Monarch carts the field into the back straight in the Japan Cup to lead by 2.5 lengths to Majiro Arden second, a half length further back. Fujiyama Kenzan is over on the inside. It's running third, a half length to Carib Song fourth. A neck further back in the middle is Watched, a length then to Majiro McQueen. It's over on the inside of Magic Night, and the favourite is running 6th on the rail. now. A length and a half further back in the field then Terramon on the outside, a splash of colour. Gauchi can't get in at the moment on Shaftsbury Avenue. He's 3 deep around Rough Habit. Maincaster on the fence, a half length further back. Golden Pheasant followed by Drum Taps, and Rockhopper is last of all at the 1200 metre mark in the Japan Cup. And the leader is George Monarch. George Monarch by 2 lengths. Fujiyama Kenzan on the inside there of Majuro Ardan. They're followed further back by Carib Song and the Japanese horses first, second, third and fourth. Then came moving up Watched on the outside of Majuro McQueen from Magic Night. Further back was Terramond. Over along the inside, Splash of Colour. Well back Shaftesbury Avenue. Then came Rough Habit followed by Rockhopper. Well back in the field then Drum Taps and Maincaster last of all. They're sweeping to the 750 metre mark now and shifting away from the fence. George Monarch over along the inside. Fujiyama Kenzan going forward. Further out is Carib Song followed by Majuro Ardan, and just behind them now Majuro McQueen is about to get a run. They're homeward bound to the Japan Cup now, and out wide on the track Carib Song, and coming up the Magic Night the filly Majuro McQueen going back for a run on the inside, and down the outside now is Golden Pheasant. Golden Pheasant has raced up on the outside for the United States to take the lead from Magic Night, and they come away from Majuro McQueen. Rough Habit is late from Shaftesbury Avenue. The American horse though is clear. Golden Pheasant in front of Magic Night. Shaftesbury Avenue getting up to third, but Golden Pheasant comes away with the Japan Cup. Golden Pheasant by a length and a half to Magic Night. Shaftesbury Avenue a length away third. 2 lengths Majuro McQueen who ran fourth. Then Rough Habit followed by Rockhopper. Behind those is Watched. Back behind the field there Maincaster. They're followed further back by Fujiyama Kenzan. Then on the outside Carib Song. Well back then pulling up pretty quickly would have been Drum Taps, followed in behind them by Terramond. A long way back then came Majuro Ardan, and George Monarch is last of all in the Japan Cup of 1991.
Shaftesbury Avenue is a great big horse with a great big motor, and he needed that motor because of a much impeded preparation. Did you see him go to the line into third place in the green and gold diagonal stripes? What a gutsy performance. And the horse on his outside is his fellow Oceania compatriot Rough Habit, who has finished officially 5th. Golden Pheasant, the winner, the only American entrant this year, trained by the legendary Charlie Whittingham, ridden by one of America's top jockeys in Gary Stevens. He was the winner of the Arlington Million last year. He was injured recently and had a very impeded preparation. In fact, only 3 lead-up runs. So, Ken, that's a great performance by Golden Pheasant, ridden by Gary Stevens. But Shaftesbury has done Australia proud.
Yeah, always does. Always tries. It's a great horse. And thanks for joining us this afternoon, Tappy.
Good to be with you.
For the Japan.